I get the secludity and how peaceful and beautiful it is out here. Same time, it's very concerning. There's no resources out here.
Right now at 11, after a recent city meeting, we have the latest in the ongoing pushback against an all-male rehab center in Marcola. Why some residents there say it won't work.
And all of a sudden, the current or an eddy kind of pulled my kayak, and I got stuck against something, and my boat tilted and started letting water in.
Plus, we're diving into the issues caused by a local dam and why some are hoping to make things safer for Willamette River goers.
Look here off to the west, we have an intensifying storm that will bring heavy rain and gusty winds to the area on Wednesday. I'll have a look at your forecast as KEZI 9 News at 11 begins right now.
Live, local, late breaking. This is KEZI 9 News at 11.
Well, everything was laid out on the table in Marcola tonight as community members talked about the future of an anticipated sober recovery facility taking the place of Marcola Elementary School. Thanks for staying up late with us tonight. I'm Ariel Yacobazi. Now, we've been talking about this project for a couple of weeks now, and it's been facing a lot of backlash, and now a stop work order. KEZI 9 News reporter Jennifer Singh was at the meeting tonight to find out why there's still a long road ahead for both the community and this facility. She also found out new details about the work order against the center.
Realistically, if I'm being honest, it would be wonderful if we just knew what was happening.
These are the questions people in Marcola want answers to.
If it was going to work out and go forward, or if we still have a journey ahead of us.
After many found out just recently, a residential substance disorder treatment center for men called Common Ground Recovery Services is planning on taking over the town's old elementary school by the end of 2024.
So our idea at this point is to have a 28-bed adult male facility.
Since the elementary school was bought out by Sober Brothers Living back in January, 2 weeks ago it looked like construction started on the property. Then an anonymous tip to Lane County that construction was going on resulted in a stop work order, as Lane County says the construction was going on without a permit. But I'm told it was a big misunderstanding.
All we've done is cleaned out the garbage out of the school and hauled it off. We have not done any construction work at all. We plan on getting permits. We haven't done anything. My partner went down this morning and told Lane County that we did not do anything, and basically they called him a liar.
The stop work order came as the project has been met with backlash. Many saying they wish they were told sooner about the school's remodel, and also saying Marcola may not be an ideal place for a facility.
I get the secludity and how peaceful and beautiful it is out here. Same time, it's very concerning. There's no resources out here.
Those concerns and more voiced Monday night at a community meeting to lay everything out in the open.
Keep your hand up if you are against this facility coming in.
Emotions were high in this room tonight as it was the first time community members in Marcola sat in front of the executive director of Common Ground Recovery Services and the owners of the property. Many questions were answered, but many still remain.
Vernon Rose Jr., the executive director of Common Ground Recovery Services, tells me they plan to provide medical services to patients along with transportation to and from Eugene or Springfield. But permits have not yet been granted, and many people still want more answers to questions such as what security measures will be in place. They want to know more about how it will be funded and how this will impact their community. Brothers Sober Living say they want a chance to show them.
We're going to have to work together. We will do everything that we possibly can within the structure of the facility and the compound itself to make sure that you and other people in the community are safe.
I'm told the new owners are still working to get the permit they need, so there is still a long ways to go and questions they plan to hopefully answer. In Marcola, Jennifer Singh, KEZI 9 News.
Great reporting there, Jennifer. Thank you. Now to a car chase that ended up in Coburg with the Junction City man behind bars. Police were on the lookout for 56-year-old Walter Edward Boss after they say he made threats to shoot law enforcement officers. They say on Sunday he pulled behind a deputy's vehicle in Coburg and started chasing him. Thankfully, that deputy got away, backups arrived, and another chase began with Boss allegedly pointing a rifle and a laser at police. They say the chase ended on Powerline Road when Boss got out of his car with the airsoft rifle and tried to hurt himself. He was taken to the hospital, treated, and then jailed. This is a mugshot of him from 2016. He's facing charges of menacing, reckless driving, reckless endangering, and unlawful use of a weapon. And a man will spend more than 19 years in prison for attacking another man with a hammer and tying a cord around his neck nearly 2 years ago in Cresswell. Investigators found the victim, a 58-year-old man, at a home in the 700 block of North Mill Street, unconscious with severe head wounds. They arrested Stephen Wages the next day, and back in January, a jury convicted him of second-degree attempted murder and assault. And this morning, a judge sentenced Wages to more than 19 years in prison. The judge noted the severity and permanency of the injuries to the victim, and that Wages has a history of more than 25 convictions in several states. And Eugene police have arrested a murder suspect in Washington state accused of killing his friend's wife and trying to pass it off as a burglary. Now, this story is pretty crazy. Police picked 55-year-old Daryl Riley up on Sunday afternoon just before 3 at a bus stop near Royal and Ruskin. The Clark County Sheriff's Office says 60-year-old Lindy Rummel was found dead inside her home in Brush Prairie, Washington, Saturday night. She'd been shot to death. Investigators say Riley was friends with the victim's husband, James Rummel, and it looks like Rummel may have hired Daryl to stage what looked like an interrupted burglary to kill his wife. Riley is facing 1 count of first-degree murder and is being held in the Lane County Jail tonight. Investigators say they have recovered a 2001 black Ford F-150 that was stolen from the scene in a rural part of Benton County. Now, investigators say it looks like someone tried to set it on fire to destroy evidence. That's quite the story. And new tonight, thanks to his strong nose, the newest addition to the Lane County Sheriff's Office K-9 team found a lot of illegal drugs inside of a car today. Officials tell us K-9 Bear found a kilo of pure fentanyl and about 50,000 fentanyl pills inside a hidden compartment of a car during a traffic stop. The occupants of the vehicle have since been referred to the prosecution, and the investigation is ongoing right now. Now, K-9 Bear is the latest addition to the Sheriff's Office and specializes in finding illegal drugs. Sounds like he's already doing a great job.
Now, your Storm Tracker 9 First Alert Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Dylan LWH.
Well, as we look at the forecast for the next few days, we will be looking at things drying up a bit. As we look towards the end of the month of March, and it's hard to believe that we're already on the heels of April, you'll notice that temperatures actually start to warm up quite a bit. But there will be a couple hurdles that we have to get through before we get to enjoy these nice warmer temperatures. I'm thinking by the weekend, going into next week, you're really going to notice some improvements in that department. Now, so this map right here is looking at the total amount of precipitation over the next couple of weeks. Notice that things begin to dry out a little bit. It's hard to believe with all the heavy rainfall that will be on the horizon going into Wednesday and Thursday of this week. But long term, I do think that things are looking quite a bit drier. Now, for tomorrow, we are looking at a few scattered showers throughout the day. Wednesday, though, I think easily it's a slam dunk. I mean, we're talking an inch plus for all locales up and down the I-5 corridor. And then going up to the Oregon Cascades, I don't think that this is going to be a big snowmaker for you guys just because it's going to be too warm out there. And so we're talking about 1 to 2 inches of precipitation for the passes, but we're going to be looking at a very low liquid to snowfall ratio. And so we're only looking at about 6 inches here on Wednesday, going into Wednesday night and into Thursday. And to be honest with you, I think that's on the high end of the scale, probably closer to 3 to 5 inches. So we're not looking at any widespread snowstorms on the way anytime soon, but coming up in the next few minutes, we will be talking about the Oregon studded tire rule, and that comes to an end at the end of this week. So I'll talk about that coming up in my Storm Tracker 9 forecast.
All right, Dylan, thank you very much. Well, the Milra LWH Head Dam continues to sit in the Willamette River, even after it was decommissioned decades ago. And activists say it does nothing but risks rivergoers' safety, especially considering the numerous rescue operations in that spot every year. KEZI 9 News reporter Aaron Ariano tells us about some of the solutions river advocates are pushing for to save lives.
Who do we go to? Whose responsibility is it to get the remnants removed? We know that it's going to be extremely expensive.
Michelle Emmons is the program manager for Willamette Riverkeeper. She says there are several possible solutions to renovate or remove this Milra LWH Head Dam, which she says causes a huge risk to rivergoers.
The way that water flows over a LWH Head Dam, it causes hydraulics and it causes currents that can be really hard to get out of. We probably come to this spot several times a year between us and Eugene Springfield Fire, affecting rescues in and around this area several times a year.
And those terrifying moments near the LWH Head Dam have been witnessed by some and experienced by others.
I was just going through it, and all of a sudden the current or an eddy kind of pulled my kayak, and I got stuck against something, and my boat tilted and started letting water in. I ended up having to get out and try to move it myself. With my own strength, I couldn't move it.
I've seen paramedics pulling people out on chain gangs. You know, it's a whole row of paramedics out there, and they're assisting someone get out of the water that's been sucked in. I've seen two people down there at the same time, like struggling to help each other out, like boats flipping in the water. Two people down there at the same time, like trying to grab onto something and grab onto each other.
Mike McFarland is a volunteer who put the petition together for the dam's inspection. He says there's a miscommunication amongst agencies on reporting these incidents and directly linking it to the dam on official record.
They don't talk to each other. They all report differently. So there's no way you and I could sit here and figure out how many people have been hurt here. There's not a uniform protocol. They just say he was drowned in the Willamette River, which doesn't tell you there's a problem there, right here.
McFarland says as they work to find out who's in charge of the dam and collect data, they'll be working on some possible solutions. One would be as simple as putting up warning signs near the dam to let rivergoers know to steer right towards this narrow passage, the only safe way through. Others, like Marcel Beeg, Cascadia Wave board member and Swift water rescue instructor, say it can be turned into a positive.
Ultimately, the goal would be to make a safer type of situation here, whether that means creating something like a whitewater park so people can actually surf and play in this area, changing the way the features are to make them passable, so a safer type of feature, whatever that may look like.
But they'll never know what solutions they can pitch until they know who to talk to, which can be solved, they say, once an inspection is complete. Reporting in Springfield, Aaron Ariano, KEZI 9 News.
The Eugene Science Center is looking to expand their facility just as the University of Oregon starts to expand their football facility right next door. Before the Ducks can fly at their expanded facility, there's still a lot of work needed on the ground to get the area ready. Now, Peter Kukla with the Eugene Science Center says, although a lot of machinery and construction is starting, they are excited to see a change in the area while they themselves look to expand with some community support.
We are, still getting back from our pre-COVID numbers, but we're getting pretty close to where we were there. But the fact that we're staying here and even expanding is helping us better reach the community and better provide access to the community.
Visitors walking the trails nearby were able to get a first-hand look of the soon-to-be construction zone. While a sight for sore eyes right now, many people say they're feeling optimistic about its future.
Just seeing all the construction things that have happened since then, it's been awesome to see the city kind of change and get better in ways. And I understand that people like the past, but I don't think they would have done it unless they really felt like this is what the future holds.
Again, the Science Center is here to stay, so no worries there, and facilities will be open throughout construction.